Good morning, everybody. Good morning. For those that don't know me, my name is James Edwards, serve as the campus provost here at the Chesapeake campus. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the second of three public forums to introduce finalists for the next president at Tidewater Community College. This is a wonderful opportunity to get to know the candidates and for the candidates to learn more about TCC. All of the forums are being recorded and will be posted in their entirety on YouTube. Those present and anyone watching the recordings can complete a survey about the candidate, which is available on the presidential search website. And we ask that you click the icon that says Meet the Candidates. Each candidate's survey period will begin after their visit and closes 24 hours after the video is posted. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Marcia Conston. Dr. Conston will take the next few moments to make a brief opening statement and to share her 90-day plan as president. Questions will be taken from the floor after Dr. Conston has concluded her presentation. I've asked Dr. Conston to briefly share the question via the microphone so those that are viewing the recording can understand what question was asked. I will be going around the room with a different microphone asking or giving you the microphone to ask those questions. Just catch my eye and I'll make sure that I get that over to you. We'll be here for about an hour and just want to again welcome and introduce Dr. Conston, our second candidate for president of TCC. Dr. Conston.
Good morning, everyone. I will stand here because I know I am being recorded. I'm Marcia Conston. I currently serve as Vice President for Enrollment and Student Services at Central Piedmont Community College in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I'm here today at Tidewater Community College because I want to be the next president of Tidewater Community College. I want to come because I want to serve this community, serve you, and serve our students, and to just do great work. So that's why I'm here, to be your next president. And I will take just a few minutes to share a little bit about myself in terms of who I am and my experiences. I have about 30 years of experience in higher education, 18 years of which have been in the community college environment. Prior to serving in a community college, I served 7 years at a small liberal arts college in Columbia, South Carolina. In both of those roles, I served in a senior position as vice president, working directly with the president of the college and doing some great things. In my role at Central Piedmont, I have been in a high-level leadership position for the last many years. I have a staff of over 300 people, 300, maybe 75 individuals that I supervise, some 30 departments. And the institution I serve has 6 campuses and 3 centers. So it's an institution that sort of mirrors Tidewater Community College. We serve 70,000 individuals in the community. I am very engaged in the community, doing a number of activities, not only taking the college to the community, but also bringing the community to the college. So we serve 70,000 individuals, and we have about 52,000 students in the total year, FTE, curriculum students. And in addition to the curriculum students, I am very engaged community-wide, statewide, and as a matter of fact, nationwide, with workforce development, which is critical during our times and specifically in the community college environment. I have also worked extensively as an evaluator for the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. I've actually served as an evaluator for 2 institutions in the North Carolina system over the years. And so I will bring to you a wealth of experience. If you've had an opportunity to see my profile online, you will see that I've also had extensive leadership experience in terms of managing and providing leadership at the college in both areas, both at the Liberal Arts College and most importantly, and certainly at the community college I serve. In addition to strong and very visible leadership, I have also been very successful as a fundraiser, which I know is very critical to the community college and to Tidewater in particular, because we know as enrollments continue to go down, which impact our state funding, the need to raise money to support the infrastructure of the college, as well as provide scholarships for students, is very important. So I have had just wonderful successes in fundraising endeavors over the past several years. And I will mention a couple of other things about my experience specifically, which is another key reason that I am very interested in Tidewater Community College. And that is the fact that I am an expert in enrollment management. And I know that is very important. In my job at the Liberal Arts College, I was very successful along with the team. And I will have to emphasize that, as vice president, I provide the leadership, I provide the vision, but it's the team. It's you who really make things happen. I would just be the one who stands in the position of leadership. But I rely very strongly on the team of the college at all of the campuses to make things happen. So in my job at Benedict College, I was able, with a very solid team and a very solid enrollment management plan, to increase enrollment by 134%. And that was phenomenal. This occurred over a 7-year period. But that was phenomenal at a small school, because the school that I worked at, it was totally tuition driven. But at the community college, within the past 8 to 10 years, I have been successful, along with a great set of deans, working very intensely on not only bringing students to the college, developing new programs, but also putting together programs that will affect student retention, which is critical. I mean, really absolutely critical to the success of a college and to the success of enrollment management. And I have been successful, along with a great team, to increase enrollment by 47% over an 8-year period. And that is phenomenal. And I know that the economy is good. And we often say that as the economy improves, then enrollments tend to dip. But there are opportunities in the community college environment through innovation and hard work and a little bit of perseverance to ensure that our enrollments increase and remain stable. So I bring these experiences to you this morning with a hope and a desire and a passion for the great work that I have been fortunate enough to do, along with a great staff and great community leaders and a great board. And I would like to have the opportunity to do that here. So now I will shift gears and present what I have prepared to share with you this morning. And it is really my 90-day plan. I was asked to talk with you this morning specifically about what I will do during the first 90 days here at Tidewater Community College. And so you see the first slide here, and pardon me, because I will kind of glance here just to see what is popping up on the screen. So during the first 90 days, I would sort of break it up, and I think I talked a little bit about this yesterday in one of the sessions, but I would sort of break it up in 3 phases as I work to invest my time and energy in serving Tidewater Community College and the community. And so I would look at it in terms of understanding the culture and the environment of Tidewater Community College. This is very important. Having worked currently at a multi-campus environment, I know oftentimes we say that, each campus has a different culture, and so I understand that, because you have different programs and different people in charge of the campuses. So it is very easy to create sort of a different culture at each campus. But I would seek to understand the whole of the institution. What does it mean to look at one college? So during this first 30 days, it will be a period of understanding. And I will go a little bit deeper on a couple of slides. And then during the next 30 to 60 days, I will take the information that I have gathered and then conduct a period of evaluation, just kind of processing the things that I have learned. And then the next 30 days, which will lead into completing the 90 days, I label that as optimizing, exactly looking at how I can develop some strategies and prioritize what needs to come first as we move to taking some strategic actions to make things happen here at Tidewater Community College. But let me just emphasize that it is really going to take your help in order to help me as president move the college in the direction that we all would like to see it go, and specifically given the guidance of our Board of Trustees. So when I think about understanding, I think about it from the perspective of this will be my time to engage with you, with the faculty, with the staff, with the community, as well as with the students. So I will be visible. I will be out and about. I had a great day yesterday visiting the campuses, spending time with many of you and others, and just learning what's on your mind, learning what a priority issue may be to you and how you envision the college moving forward. So I will be visible. I will meet extensively with individuals, one-to-one group meetings, just engaging. And I will tell you up front that I will ask questions. And the reason I will ask questions is not that I'm trying to create any punitive thoughts or ideas in anyone's mind. During this 30-day period, I'm just gathering information. I just want to know. I just want to understand. So I will spend a great deal of time listening very attentively to the things that you are telling me, as well as taking notes. And I will also say that most of the meetings, once I learn my way around the communities, I will probably travel alone as I meet, because I would want to hear from the faculty, hear from the staff, and hear from the students. So I may not take or ask another VP to accompany me, or a provost to accompany me. I would just want to sit at your desk and just hear from you, or sit in a group and just hear from you. Again, just to listen and to gain information. Also, as a part of this understanding and this 30-day period, you will know the authenticity of Marcia Conston. I am a very authentic person. The person you see standing here before you today is the person that I am. And so you will know that I am very open and I am very transparent. So you won't have to wonder what's she thinking or what's brewing in my head. I will happily say. So I'm very open and I am very transparent. And I know that in an environment as large as Tidewater Community College, I know this because I operate in an environment, people want to know what's going on. It's important that we are all informed. And so working with each of you, as well as working very closely with the marketing department of the college, I will ensure that transparency occurs and that you will be informed. And then the third component of this understanding involves, of course, relationship building. And again, I will need your help and your support, and particularly also the Board of Trustees, the Foundation Board, as well as the Facilities Board, to help me understand who the people are in the community, because I want to be engaged. I will happily join Rotary, which I hope to do immediately, participate in various social functions, hopefully have opportunities to have engagements on the campuses where community members will be able to come and not necessarily see me or be introduced to me, but be introduced and reintroduced to Tidewater Community College. And so I will ensure that we are socially engaged, I as an individual, getting to know people in the community and ensuring that the community has a good feeling for the great work that we are going to continue to do for this outstanding institution. And so during the next period, which will be the next 30 days, the 60-day period, After I have had the opportunity to visit broadly and listen intently and document the things that I have heard, this will be my period to evaluate, really to take all of the information that has been shared with me, and really process it in my mind, and to assess what I have heard, and to start thinking about forming opinions on some strategies for the institution. But not only that, working very closely with the president's cabinet and working very closely with the provosts, who are also a part of the president's cabinet, but who have campuses that I really need to engage in on a frequent basis. So I will, with the great minds of these individuals, work to assess and evaluate what I have gathered, and also look at our current processes and think about how the institution is currently structured, and hear from the minds of these individuals to see if there are opportunities to create ways to do things a little bit differently. So a period of evaluation and assessing, and you will also learn about me if I come as president of Tidewater Community College. You will learn that I rely very heavily on data. It is important that we use data to make decisions in our day-to-day work, as well as in doing strategic planning, looking at how successful we are in performing our jobs. So I would definitely ask for data and rely on data to help drive some of the decisions that the institution will make going forward. And I will actually encourage and challenge the faculty and the staff to look at what the data is saying to them and how they can use it in terms of improving the programs and services that they currently provide. And then I will also, taking what we've heard, just look at our lost momentum points. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute as it relates to enrollment management. But just where are we successful in many of the initiatives that we have in place? And then where are there opportunities for improvement? And so in that regard, certainly I would talk about the strengths of the college, the weakness. This is the SWOT analysis of the college. And where are there opportunities? What are the short-term opportunities that we have that we could move forward immediately? And then what are some long-term opportunities that the institution has that we may want to put in our long-range plan for the next 4 to 5 or even 10 years? So conducting very clearly a SWOT analysis would be very critical for me. But of course, it will take an understanding of the cultures of the people, as well as an understanding of the direction in which we want to go, and then assessing the data to conduct the SWOT analysis. And then also thinking about the threats. What are the current threats that the college faces today? We know that one, of course, is the decline in enrollment, and we will address that. And we will address it as a college and move the institution forward. But what are other threats that we may face, both internally as well as externally? And how can we move the college past addressing the threats as a team? How do we do that collectively? And then one factor that I know, and I just put this on the slide because I will come back to this, and that is one threat we know is the specific factor that's affecting enrollment and student enrollment. And so I have in this presentation just a couple of slides on some of the things that I would like to do coming into the institution around student enrollment, because that is so critical. And then for the next 30 days, which will lead into the 90 days, I will look to optimize everything that has happened with regard to understanding the college, with regard to next evaluating what I have learned and what I have gathered and what we as a team have gathered. And then I would begin to take some strategic initiatives or develop some, and also working with you, implementing a set of activities to help move the college forward. And so getting our hands around that and beginning to do some things immediately. And of course, this will involve a number of important critical issues as we wrap up the 90 days, because this is when action will actually begin. I will establish an urgency in response to the critical issues. And we know one being enrollment. And there may be others that will certainly evolve during my period of evaluation and during my period of information gathering. And then I will seek to, as appropriate or as determined, to build a strong team. And I will tell you, as a leader, it is important that I'm able to have a team to stand with me. Someone says, you have a strong team, you can go forward and do well. And that's my vision. But it's for us as a team, not just for me. Because, someone told me one time, there is no I in the word team. It's T-E-A-M. There's no I there. So it's going to take all of us to do the work. And then also, I will identify the opportunity as needed to take strategic risk. And as a leader, it is important that I am willing to step out and take risk. But the key thing is to take strategic risk. And by that, I mean that the risk that I will take will be based on solid information and data that will enable me to move this institution forward. So taking strategic risk, someone said to me yesterday that one of the more critical things that we need is for someone willing to make a decision. So here stands that person. I have the leadership strength and ability, the wherewithal, the acumen, and the poise to make decisions. No matter how tough they are, here stands that person. But again, I will take strategic risk, and I will hear from the college community as I make decisions, but I am the one who will make the decision. And decisions will be made, and they will not be made 2 years hence. They will be made. And then lastly, I will speak a little more about, as I keep alluding to, the enrollment management. So one of the things that I will do coming into the position is to develop, establish an enrollment management task force, because we all know just from the data that that's a critical area that we need to address now. And as I said at the outset of my remarks, that this is what really sparked my desire and interest to come to Tidewater Community College, to really help address the enrollment issue, because I will bring the expertise. And then lastly, I thought that it would be important for me as the president to just give you my working view right now of my vision for Tidewater Community College coming in. And I will say this because I have seen many presidents come to an institution and they don't have a vision. They don't have a vision. But as the new leader, the college community is looking for that president to say, well, where are we going? What's your vision for the institution? It is important. It is important that the college president comes in with a vision. It may not be a perfect vision, but have in his or her mind some idea as to where the college should move over the next 5 years and the next 10 years. So I wanted to tell you my working vision. And my vision for Tidewater Community College is that it will become a national leader in innovation, opportunity, and student success while enriching our community. So that is my vision. And if you see, I spent a lot of time thinking about this. Now, I'm not saying that this is the mission, and not saying that I have articulated goals. This is my vision, because currently the college does not have a strategic plan, and it will take a team of us to develop a strategic plan which will include the mission, the goals, and the core values. So we will get to that. But coming in as president of the institution, I will bring a vision. And my vision, as I said, is for this institution to become a national leader in innovation. Because, and I'll tell you, these words were just very, very important to me. Because many years ago, I mentioned that I have done a couple of self-studies for the schools in North Carolina, 2 schools. One of the schools was NOVA, Northern Virginia Community College, which is the largest community college, and we know that in the state. And Tidewater, number 2, the second largest. So Tidewater is already up here. You know, it's already up here at the top. And when I think about the opportunities that Tidewater has, they're tremendous in terms of innovation. I am affiliated with 20 of the most innovative community colleges in the country. It's called the League for Innovation. Some of you may be aware of the League for Innovation. And we meet twice a year and we visit the colleges and we look at all the innovation that's going on at the institutions. And when we want to determine best practices and see how institutions are doing across the country, those 20 are our institutions are our go-to. We will survey the league schools and say, well, how are you processing student veterans? Or, you know, how are you dealing with community engagement? Whatever we want to know, we want to go to those league schools. They're the innovators. And I would tell you and submit to you this morning that Tidewater Community College needs to be at the top of that list, and we can do it. So innovation is very important. I want us to begin, I know we're already doing it. I've walked around the campuses and I see a great deal of innovation, but I want to encourage and inspire us to do more, to make this a part of our vision, to really think outside of the box. And so as president, I will encourage and promote innovation, not just amongst the faculty, but also amongst the staff, as well as our students. So I will promote innovation. And then opportunity. We want to become a leader in opportunity. And we talk about curriculum students, but opportunity with our workforce development. Because this area of the country, an area that I admire with all my heart, I mean, you know, look at where we're surrounded, the largest naval base in the world. You know, 1/3 of the students come, either them or their families, they're associated with the military in some form. We have all of these colleges and universities in the state. We're 3 hours away from DC. I mean, there are tremendous opportunities for this institution. And I want us to include opportunity as a part of the vision. What does opportunity look like for Tidewater Community College going forward? And then the third component I put in this vision is student success. And we will get a little deeper if I'm fortunate to come to Tidewater. We will get a little deeper in what exactly does student success mean to each of us. Because I've surveyed students, I've surveyed faculty, I've surveyed staff. I had all the counseling staff in my office and we were in a meeting and I said, what do you think student success is? And what do you think student success? So you will get different ideas, but I want us to really go deeper as we think about the vision for the institution to clearly understand what student success looks like. And I know each of us in this room probably, you know, in our own minds, we would say what student success is, student getting that certificate or student passing that GE course or student going on to transfer, but we will explore that. But I will submit to you that it's all of the above and so much more. So this is my vision for the institution, is that we will become a national leader. So when other institutions want to know how the other institutions are operating, they will say, let's email Tidewater and see how are they doing with student success. Let's email Tidewater to see how they are doing with opportunity. How do they define opportunity for their community? So that's my vision. And just in thinking about that, I wanted to just add these pictures. You may know some of these people because they came from the website. But these are examples of innovation and opportunity that the college is certainly engaged in. You see the student receiving money to purchase books. That's important. I met with some of the foundation board members this morning, and we had a very good conversation around ways in which we could serve our students. And then there is another picture there of the individual receiving the $75,000 grant. And then the picture that I love is the Navy vet turned truck driver at TCC alum, is a finalist for a National Driving Excellence Award. I just love that. I didn't, you did? Yeah, very good, very good, very good. And then, of course, other examples of the great work that the college is already doing, you know, providing scholarships for international students. That's a huge issue. Huge issue. Scholarships not only for international students, but also for first generation, first time in college, low income students, minority students, the increasing population of minority students coming to the institution. And then, of course, the program that's near and dear to me, and I'm sure near and dear to all of us, and that's our dual enrollment, studying mechatronics, you know. And then, of course, the bottom picture here of a student, Ursula Jones. You may know Ursula, who's studying cybersecurity in Alaska. So as I've just, you know, of course, been looking on the internet, looking at Tidewater, and I saw these pictures, and they just touched my heart in a real way. Because I said, these are the things that we're currently doing. We're currently doing great job. But there are opportunities to do so much more, and to touch and impact the lives of so many more students. Opportunity, student success in a real way. And so I do want to just shift gears, just very briefly, to talk a little bit about access and success. And originally I had the two words up here, enrollment and retention. The same thing, access and success. So that would be one of the areas that I will work with you to focus on immediately. I've alluded to enrollment management because it's critical. So access and success, getting the students into the institution, keeping them here to achieve their goal, whatever that goal is, and ensuring that they have an excellent transition for the next phase of their journey. And so as I look to work with you on what an enrollment management strategy will look like, I will tell you that using data, it is important that we look at what we call lost momentum points. Now, this is not Marcia Conston's brainchild here, but this is an instrument that I have used for many years. And actually, it is an instrument that was developed by the Gates Foundation with the Completion by Design initiative. Completion by Design. And so this chart simply allows us to see where we are losing students in the pipeline and where we are gaining students. Losing students as in loss. Gaining students and being successful as in momentum. And so we can take this chart, this analogy, and apply it across the board in the admissions office, in the financial aid office, And the faculty's area, classrooms, where are we losing students? What are the lost momentum points in our classrooms? With our budget implications. So this has broad implications in terms of how we are serving and doing the business of serving our students and serving our communities and serving them well. So looking at this, we will see from connection, students completing their application, are we processing them fully, to entry into the college? Are we losing students anywhere in that pipe? And once they come to the college, what about our processes? Are they completing those required courses? Are they receiving the appropriate advising that they need in order to process themselves on through college and then on to completion? So where in the pipeline are we having loss and how are we having momentum? And of course, this may require, but this is all a part of the gathering data, assessing what we're currently doing. It may require that we change some policy, look at our practices, may have to do things a little bit differently. And then we also may have to look at our programming. Are we offering the right mix of programs at the right campuses, et cetera? And then look at in terms of our processes. Are there things that we are doing that we just may need to tweak just a little bit to make them a little bit better? So again, it's just work. It's just work, but it's good work because we are doing the best we can to serve our students. We're doing the best we can to serve our community. So it's good work. And I will be right here with you doing the work. And so as I come in, one of the things that I will definitely do immediately is to put together a strategic enrollment management team. And that team will have one charge, and that charge will be to develop a 5-year enrollment plan to help move the institution forward. But I will need your engagement in that process, your engagement in saying to me, Dr. Conston, this person should serve on that team. I would recommend that this person be a part of that. And as we study data, keep in mind, it's nobody's fault. The data is what the data is. We just understand it and we move forward. And so it is my hope that if we start to work immediately, that we will see some reverse with student enrollment. I am hopeful by the summer of 2020, and certainly by the fall of 20, what year is this? It's 19, by the fall of 2020, and then by the spring of 2021. So going into the 2021 year, we can do it. We can do it. We can get our data and our numbers on the right track. And I will come to you with that spirit and commitment, with your help, to reverse the numbers and get them moving in the right direction. If we have a 1 or 2% increase, I will jump for joy, really jump for joy, because I know that we will be moving in the right direction. And so this is just a picture of the document. It won't be this thick. It'll be like this, but it will include in the context strategies, because that's what we need right now. We need strategies. We need to set goals. We're thinking about a 5-year, but in the first year, we're going to do this. So what are the strategies? What are the activities? What are the tasks that we will put in place immediately? Who will do them? And how much is it going to cost us? When? So we will have who and timeline, commitment, responsibility, a timeline, budget implication, and then obviously outcomes, assessment of results. So this is what I will do in the first 90 days. But as you can see, as I close my presentation, that it's certainly focused on our need and ability to move forward with enrollment management. Thank you all. Good morning.
My name is Thomas Howell. I'm the Dean of Maritime School at Chesapeake College. Tidewater Community College has served the community for 50 years, and there's been a lot of change in the area, especially when it comes to higher education. We have about 40 competing institutions located face-to-face and online. What experience do you have in such a competitive environment for higher education?
Okay, well, the question is, can everybody hear? Okay. The question is, what experience do I have in such a competing environment when you have other institutions and entities surrounding that are attracting our students? And so I do have experience because I live in the city of Charlotte and we have 6 campuses and 3 centers, but there are multiple colleges in the community, and certainly there are 58 community colleges there, but there are also multiple competing institutions there. And one of the major ones would be is it the ICP or the IPC institution, the proprietary schools. There are the EPCI is one of them, right? So the proprietary schools. And I was sharing this morning how they are so interesting. So in a 30-second clip, they would show a student coming in to register in jeans and a t-shirt or whatever, and a smiling staff person working with them. And then in the next 10 seconds, you see them walking out of the space in a uniform. They have on a nursing uniform or, welding or something. But the point is you come here, you're going to get a job. And they just show it just like that. And so that's the image you lead with. And so what we have to do at Tidewater Community College, and again, this is, I'm the new kid on the block, and I'm not even on the block yet. But what we have to do is to just really think about the messages that we're putting forth in our marketing department and in our marketing. So I would like and encourage us to really take a step back. I don't know the landscape of marketing at this point, but marketing is huge in terms of what's on print, what's on TV, what's on radio, Facebook, Twitter. How are we marketing? And are we marketing the college in such a way that people will really understand Tidewater is here? And people know, someone said this to me this morning, that we know that Tidewater Community College is here, but does the community know about our programs? So should we think about more marketing our programs and our services more broadly than we market the college? And so marketing, I think, would be very critical. And then also going deeper into the high schools with dual enrollments. I think that's going to be very important as well. And then another key component, which is to our advantage. You said we have the Naval Center and so many military centers around us. How are we recruiting and communicating to that population? I think there are many opportunities to bring people from the military to these campuses. The campuses are beautiful, but I know I just visited this morning a Veterans Resource Center. And I know that we have a couple of others at the campuses, but really making the veteran community aware that we have the centers here to serve them and their families. And just how are we doing that? Are we bringing the community to the college in a real way? So ensuring that we just kind of step back and think about very critically how we are marketing, what messages are we putting out, what's on the TV, what's on the radio station, when, the time of day that they're going out. And I think that we would really begin to see the numbers turn around. And I will say that I know it's not cheap. I know it costs money. So that's something that we will have to look at, but look at very critically because it impacts enrollment. in terms from a budgetary perspective as well. Hi. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Based on recent academic pathways and organizations, how do you propose to strike a balance between providing stability and structure while also being able to adapt to rapidly changing expectations?
Okay. Well, I have in my role at the community college, I have certainly had to adapt to a rapidly changing population. And, we have at my institution teams that we call rapid response. And I'll give you an example of how a rapid response team works. So for example, about 5 years ago, you know that North Carolina is very big in the furniture business. They make beautiful furniture at some of the places, Thomasville and other places, beautiful furniture. So the furniture manufacturing, a couple of companies they just had to close. And so, 500 employees, no place to work, no job, just gone. So in terms of rapid responding to the changing demographics and the changing dynamics, my team was there. Meeting with the employees in order to help them determine through skills assessments what they could be trained to do next and what their interests were. And so we immediately developed short-term training programs and met with other companies who needed employees so that we could train this 500 individuals within a 6-week, 8-week, 16-week stackable credentials so that they could immediately go into the workplace. That's an example of how you have to be able to rapidly respond to the changing dynamics in your community. Because, we talk about the data, but behind the numbers are real people. And so we want to ensure that the people have a place to go and that they don't lose their income. So ensuring that there are opportunities to be there and to have the people trained, see what they could be upskilled for immediately and move into the workforce and tell them about the programs that we already have here at the college. So being able to respond rapidly in the community is very, very critical. And I didn't write the first part of your question down.
Based on a recent academic pathway.
Right. Okay, that's it. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I have heard, I've been here a day, and of course I've read about and reviewed the academic pathways, the new model that's in place. And so I am very familiar with academic pathways because I also have them at my institution now. And they seem to work very well for the benefit of the students. But I will tell you that in terms of the current structure, when I talked about, listening and being able to process some of the things that I have heard, that's an area that I will, coming into the college as president, take a very deep and serious look at, hearing from the vice presidents, hearing from the president's cabinet, hearing from the provost on what the model should look like, that it's best suited to serve the students. Because I've heard varying responses at this point, and I want to make sure that I have a good understanding of what the college is doing as it is centered around guided pathways. I am absolutely not saying that the guided pathways are not good, because I think they are. Because students do need structure. We are here to serve the students, and students need the structure. But in terms of whether or not the current structure that the college has put in place is the most suitable one, because I have heard varying, views about them, that is something that I will have to take a deep dive and do engage in a lot of listening so that I could fully understand.
You talked about going admin done.
Mm-hmm. They fall into, I just didn't add faculty in the process, right? Thank you so much. So you're absolutely right. Dean, I can just start vice presidents, chancellors, deans, and faculty, because truly the faculty are the ones who are really going to be working with and doing the advising. So thank you for allowing me to include faculty in my comments. Thank you for that.
Hi, Steve Lindeman. Maybe I would like to hear about its strategy for sustain innovation.
Mm-hmm.
Tidewater, a number of innovative things. One of them being our secret.
Mm-hmm.
We were first in the nation to develop a free
Right.
program with new technical.
Right. Mm-hmm.
How do you identify those innovations?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sustain
Right.
perspective?
Right. Right. Thank you for that. And I knew about that Z program because we've studied that. It will be important for us to use your collective energies to say to me or to say to your dean or your vice president or faculty members, these are innovative initiatives. And so I will not stifle innovation. Absolutely. Because that's the only way that we're going to be able to move the college forward, is that we continue to be innovative. And so I will absolutely not stifle innovation. And I will ensure that as ideas arise, that we, as best as we can, and I hope that it will be 100%, provide the dollars to support the innovation. And also in terms of just state budget or the president's budget, I will also encourage faculty and staff to write grants, to seek money from DOE, to seek money from NSF, and all other federal and local and state funding agencies, because there's a lot of money out there. The Gates Foundation, the Community College Research Center, the state of Virginia, there are all sorts of opportunities. So those are other ways to use your innovative energies and to create opportunities for innovation for our students and for this college. And I would also encourage you to write and publish the great work that you're doing and to get it out there. So I would be a proponent. How many of you attend the League for Innovation annual conference or has attended? Okay. So that if you haven't, that's one area. Even if you just go online and just look at the conference from last year and just, or from this year actually, and just see some of the innovative things that colleges are doing across the state. And the reason I ask that is because as we create innovative initiatives, I want you there. I want you there sharing with the country the great work that we're doing. Because like I said, Tidewater is on top. It truly is an outstanding institution. And so I want you there presenting your great work so that the rest of the colleges in the country can see. So when they think about innovation, like creating a curriculum that where all the textbooks are free, right? All the textbooks were online. And that's the kind of thing that they would think about at Tidewater and other great initiatives. So I would support it with resources, with my own dollars, encourage faculty, staff to write grants, proposals, and encourage you to publish and present your great work. Good morning. Oh, yeah.
You noted that CCC had 2 ways of service going to be
Yeah.
We are facing intensified competition from our 4-year for-profit online universities for our students. About a third of our students are virtual. My question to you is, how do you see your role in helping to support our veterans and TCC the most attractive option?
Right. Okay, great. That's a great question. So in terms of, I'll tell you two things. So in terms of my role in supporting veterans, I would be, and I talked a little bit about this morning with the foundation board, I will be at the table immediately. I mean, literally immediately, promoting the fact that a third of our student population consists of veterans, either veterans or individuals from military family. I would be in the community talking about that, telling business people, donors, prospective donors. Did you know that Tidewater Community College serves a third of the veterans in this community, and raising money? I would definitely raise money to support the centers. One of the things that I would like to see happen, and I can say this sort of immediately too, is I would like to see the centers expand at every campus. Just an open area for our student veterans and their families to come, to lounge, to receive all the resource services that they need, to have coffee, to have a computer lab. That is my vision for all of our community, all of our centers, all of our veteran centers. And I will definitely be willing to work with donors immediately to put the money behind it. So in 2009, I had been traveling sort of around the country looking at other institutions. And because I wanted to start a veteran center, that was when veterans were returning home and so forth. And so I didn't have a center at my college. And I visited some institutions and saw some centers. And also, I was also engaged in the initiative to have their military experiences count toward degree completion, working with American Council on Education. I'm sure you know all about that work. And so I came back and I went to the president and I said, you know, we need to have a veterans center. We didn't have one. And I was very fortunate to have a donor to give me $750,000 for the center. So in November 2010, cut the ribbon on the first student veteran center at the college. And so when it opened, I opened it with a part-time person as well as with financial aid staff, the ones who certify the veterans. We had them all in the same suites. They still are. Counselors, a lab so that veterans could come in and have their own space and search for jobs, a lounge, and then a place for them to just come in and all the flags and so forth, just like the one I saw just a few minutes ago, so that they could mingle and engage. And I cut the ribbon on it, had a part-time person as the coordinator. So I wasn't pleased with that person because the person wasn't really serving part-time. And so I then hired, because it was growing so really quickly, the veterans just started coming in. I hired a former veteran to run the center. His name is Nicholas. And he came to me and the first thing he says, Dr. Conston, he says, this needs to be called a center for military families and veterans. That was a learning curve for me. He said, a center for military families and veterans. Because not only are we serving the veterans themselves, but we also serve the wives, their husbands, and the kids. So this should be a family center. So going forward, as I rolled out the centers at the other campuses, of course, we changed the name. Another donor gave $500,000 because what I did was I named the centers after the people who were giving the money. And so they are affiliated with the veterans, and they wanted to have their names on the centers. So another donor gave money, named the center after this person. Another donor gave money. So we have centers at all 6 campuses, and they are full with veteran students all the time, but we call them student veterans all the time. It's been wonderful. So I will be at the table with you on that initiative to fund the coffee and Cokes and muffins. I asked someone yesterday, was there a Harris Teeter grocery store in there? So Harris Teeter provides the food. I mean, people want to give the Charlotte Hornets, the basketball team, painted the facility. You know, Bank of America, we had another big ribbon cutting. Bank of America gave money. So this is something that people in the community have a passion for. We just need to ask. We just need to ask. And I will definitely work with the foundation office and work with you, because you will be the program expert on putting together the packet to say, these are the number of student veterans we have here. This is their need. They need scholarships. They need textbooks. They're just about used up all of their money. And, you know, that will work very well. The other thing, I know I'm taking long on this, but I want to say this. The other thing I want to say is that yesterday I had an opportunity to meet with the students. And in that group of students that I met with, one of them was a young man who said to me that, you know, I'm here for the third time. So he had gone to EPCI, or whatever the preparatory school is that's close by. And he said that he went in, he had just gotten out of the military. And he said, I knew it was kind of strange because they didn't seem to be too interested in my program. That he said he wanted to study IT, information technology. But he said, I like to use my hands. So he wanted to study it from the perspective of fixing computers. And he said, but they just kind of rushed me in and made sure that my VA benefits were intact. And they enrolled me in some courses that I didn't even want to be in. And so he stayed a semester and he dropped out. And so he said, I came to Tidewater after that. And he said that, but I wasn't too sure. I wanted to study computer and I wasn't too sure. And so I didn't really feel like I was getting the support. I mean, I'm talking to family, so, you know. And he said, so I left. And so by that time, he told me he had used up all of his VA benefits. Then he went back to the preparatory school. And he just didn't feel comfortable at all. So he left again. Very smart young man. So yesterday, he's back at Tidewater again. And he's trying to complete his program of study, but he doesn't have any more VA benefits. So he's receiving the Pell Grant. So this is the kind of young man who needed the resources that our Veterans Center could provide. And I'm saying that to say that, you know, the preparatory schools really, from what the students tell us, they're not serving them as well. And then they charge, 5 times, you know, the cost. And then the students end up with us, but we want to catch them at the beginning, especially the student veterans. That's why your center and the great work that all of us doing, especially in counseling and advising, is so important. So I guess you could see and hear the passion that I have around student veterans. And we will work very hard to ensure that the community knows that we're here and we're here to serve them. And we want them on our campuses. This always happens to me.
As a reminder, we encourage you to go online to presidential link to the outline candidates and complete surveys for the candidates. We're employees.com to give you the opportunity to share the program.
Yes, I know I have talked a lot. It seems like the time goes by so quickly. But I just simply want to say thank you all for coming out. I'm so happy that you are all here, and I hope that I have said something that will impress you, to allow you really to see my strength, and primarily my leadership strength, but also my work ethic, and certainly, of course, my knowledge of higher education. And I want you to know that if I'm given the opportunity to come to be the president of Tidewater Community College, that I come as a visionary leader, for sure, but also as a servant leader. And so I come with that spirit to serve this college and to serve this community, but most importantly, to serve our students and to serve you as well. So thank you for giving me this time, and hopefully I will see you again. Thank you.